Welcome to the recently booked through Spirit Airlines Keeping Up with the Cardassians podcast.
Boy. Not affiliated. We are not affiliated with
Spirit Airlines, but we
any
are
way, shape, or form
rolling those dice.
Can we view Spirit and identified as Delta? Does that help?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes.
You're saying Spirit identifies as Delta Airlines?
I'm going to walk on the airplane. I'm like, I identify this as a Delta flight.
Yeah.
Whatever helps you.
Here's your
biscuit. And they're like, sir, this is a Spirit flight. And you're like, don't you dead name my flight. That'd be great. So anyways, this is Nick.
This is Rob.
This is Joe.
And welcome back to In Studio Recording. We are happy gentlemen today. So as you know, this is our pop culture podcast where we talk all things going on in the world. We're still reviewing Star Trek The Next Generation. Today we got 2 episodes to review. One of those is Brothers, a data lore episode. And the other one is I can't remember the name of it. And it's not right in front of me. And it will be Suddenly Human.
Yes.
Suddenly Human. Suddenly Susan. Suddenly Susan.
I think we all thought that. That's pretty.
Yeah. So that's the other episode. We're going to review those in the second half of the episode. But first off, there's obviously all these sorts of newses that we're going to go over with you. First of all, like we said, we are officially flight booked for our cruise.
And what cruise is it?
To Star Trek.
Yeah.
Star Trek, the cruise.
Star Trek, the cruise in
8?
February.
Is it 8 or 7? I think it's 8.
I think it is.
7.
It's 8.
7?
No, it's 8.
It's 8.
It's 8.
Okay.
Lee's on February 22nd. We're flying in. Our flight lands at 9:05 a.m.
In theory.
You want to give our flight number and seating
in Fort Lauderdale. So we got a 40-minute drive from Fort Lauderdale to the Miami port.
We're on deck 6.
Deck 6, yep. We're lower decks. We're lower
decks.
We
couldn't get on second deck.
Second deck. So we got decks. Yeah. So we're flying
Get
in.
enough drinks in me. I'll be all over second deck.
But here's the thing. I know Spirit Airlines sucks. We know it sucks. But we have a little bit of Stockholm syndrome because it's $170 and it's like, I know they're going to beat us. I know they're going to berate us. I know chances are someone is going to die on that flight.
That's Frontier.
I think that's also Spirit. But it's $170 and I know they're bankrupt right now.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
But that takes a while in the court system. So, I mean, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good.
We're good.
Here's the thing. We got plenty of time right now. Like, if something happens, we can rebook flights. We really do. We have plenty of time. Yeah. Worst case scenario, we're driving down the night before.
57 days out.
We're taking a 24-hour drive.
Less than 2 months.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, so we booked that right before this. So we were supposed to start recording an hour ago, but, we get wrapped up in crap.
We go down the wormhole.
I'm just glad when you read off the episode names that I watched the right episodes because it's been
a while.
It's been kind of chaotic.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I try to do like the episode math in my head before we watch. And then I don't want to send the text, hey guys, which episodes are we watching this week?
Yeah.
Every single week.
Right. We haven't consistently.
Or you can just look at the one we just recorded and say, oh, that was it.
No, once we record this, it goes in the can. It's dead to me. I don't. It's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's over. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, what episode number are we at? We're approaching our 200th.
That is next week, isn't
allegedly episode.
Is it next week, isn't it?
It is.
Is this episode 199er?
This is 198.
This is 199, I think. We're doing right now.
Now I'm going to have to check. I'm going to have to sign into the account.
Next week is a big
episode. Go to YouTube, bro.
No, I'm not going to YouTube. YouTube sucks. I'm kidding. This is 199 because 198 was Festivus.
We got to find something.
Yes, Festivus.
We got to do something for 200.
What?
I don't know.
We're going on a cruise.
Not on episode 200.
I know.
I think 200 is kind of a big deal.
How many podcasts?
Legitimately, how many podcasts have? And when you think about it, we've recorded over 200.
We don't speak about those.
We don't talk about them. They are not canon.
The
show.
I love doing them, but
only a few of them are actual canon. But the rest are just nothing.
Yeah,
we should do one now and just see how it's received.
Yeah, because technically you could argue 198 should have been one of those bonus episodes, like a 0.5 episode, because When it's not related to the show, that's when they like the show we're reviewing. They become bonus episodes.
So
That's how it used to be. Yeah.
Those of you who are listening back in the day, in the double-digit podcast numbers, we would occasionally do something like a rank or a list or our favorite Mount Rushmores, is what we called them.
You cannot say those two words.
And
we lose listeners.
We call them like 0.5 episodes.
Yeah.
And no one cared.
No.
They cared less, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we make fun of them. I say we do another Mount Rushmore just for fun.
As episode 200, just as a.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. We could do a Star Trek Mount Rushmore.
But really, how many podcasts get to 200 episodes? Not many,
because they usually like fizzle out by then, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you did it weekly, and you did it, that's 4 years.
Yeah, we put this content out whether somebody likes it or not.
Right.
Exactly.
Or not.
They're getting it whether they want
We put it out in spite of our listenership.
Exactly.
You know what? Fuck you.
Exactly. You're going to get it. You're going to like it too.
But I mean, 4 years is better. I mean, I would say that's top 10%. Only less than 10% of podcasts go 200 episodes.
Yeah.
I would, if I were, I'm just pulling numbers out of my ass, but I would.
I like the made up numbers.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like made up numbers too. I mean, who doesn't like made up numbers?
He's just on the internet, not paying attention.
No. I hear you. I was pulling up our voicemails and text messages.
Oh, show prep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. After the fact.
Where else can you go to get on-air show prep? I mean, really, and meetings.
Yeah, show meetings, show prep.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that Superman trailer? Oh, sorry, that was last
We already talked about that.
I know, but I want to talk about it more.
Yeah, exactly. Which actually, but if you want to quickly talk about the Superman, here's the thing.
Yes.
This goes off of a text. We got some text messages from a listener.
Are you opening the hailing frequencies?
From
frequencies?
Kyle.
Oh.
We need those.
Open hailing frequencies. Open hailing frequencies. Open hailing.
Is someone going to do it?
Channel open.
Okay, thank you. Gosh. You'd think that when the captain talks, you respond like that kid did in the second episode, Jonah and the whale. Whatever his name was.
Jono and the whale?
Jonas brother.
He's too blonde for Jonas Brother. Bless you.
All right.
What a time for a sneezing fit to come on.
I know.
As soon as you hit record, like I could feel it come on.
YouTube's coming after you like they did me, man.
Oh,
YouTube.
We're talking shit about Spirit.
I know we are. Spirit's coming at you.
Are they partners?
So, all right. So Kyle, a listener, texted in and he says, as you know, Superman has been my hero. This movie trailer honestly made me tear up because it felt like what Superman has always needed. The Superman and Lois show got the character right. Let's see if this movie can make my feels justified instead of breaking my heart. P.S. Another part of me loves all of them, and they are a weird, guilty pleasure. Each one captures a part of who he is. I like all of them in a weird way, but not trying to get Zod out of the city and then killing him was something that shouldn't have happened. If I had to pick between Man of Steel and Superman 2, I'd pick Superman 2. In Superman 2, he still kills Zod. Just for the record.
I don't think his argument wasn't that he didn't get Zod, that he...
I get
he
you.
didn't get him out of the city.
He prefers the way he did it.
Made for some great action sequences. Kind of.
It did. Superman for me inspires us as humans to be better, not because of his powers, but in spite of them. Love our neighbors and whatnot. But I'm a geek at heart. I've even watched all the new Star Wars and Marvel stuff people seem to hate and can still enjoy it mostly. So I hear you. What's happening? They're doing a weird look-see back.
I'm recording on the other phone because...
I know. I thought I saw the thing fall.
Oh.
So just check the.
All right.
Oh, show meeting. Are we off kilter? We're good. So anyways, Kyle, thanks for your feedback. The Superman trailer has inspired some weird, like there's been some backlash. Rob posted a trailer reaction online, and he did not get the warm feels from people about the Superman trailer. Some of the comments for his, let me pull them up, what they said to Rob. Frickin' a YouTube studio. Here we go. This is, sometimes you're just going to have to deal with it, folks. Sometimes this is what happens when you deal with me.
200 episodes of this.
There's 200 episodes of Nick trying to figure it out on the fly. So here's the comment got on his reaction trailer. Not good at all. Awful. Nah, sorry. It looks proper cringe to me.
What?
We all make, and that's what people put. They did the sound like Top Gun at the front of this preview, which
Glad
is
you had
true.
me check.
Yeah.
It wasn't recording.
Oh, So, anyways, reactions basically are up in the air about the Superman trailer, and people are saying it's cringy.
I want to leave the word cringe in 2024. Can we please leave it?
It's such a cringe word, right?
But I've refused to say it the entire time because I think it's a dumb, cringe and cringy. Screw you.
Cringy. The word cringy is fine. It used to be fine, but now when people say, "Oh, it's just so cringe," shut up.
Yeah,
just stop it.
Yeah,
because they use it for everything.
Cringe.
Yeah, it gets on my nerves too.
What's the cringe part? Is it the dog? Like, what's the cringe part of the trailer? Is it because he's got his drawers outside?
It's probably like the Hawk Girl. It's probably Guy Gardner. It's probably like that. It's leaning more into the fantastical elements rather than the grounded.
What, a superhero movie is fantastical? Mm-hmm. Color me shocked.
About a guy that's an alien from a different planet that has a super dog?
But he got shot into a planet and didn't explode as soon as he hit the ground. Burst into just a billion pieces.
First of all, he got shot into a planet and didn't. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Sorry.
I mean,
but you know, the thing for me
burn up in the
also
atmosphere
is like, I think
this guy that flies. Wow.
when you're talking online, you're gonna get the trolls. I mean, that's what it boils down to. People just want to hate on things these days, and it's such a cringe thing to do.
You just said it.
Son of a bitch.
I know, I'm just joking. But like, there's people who just want to go around. Like, whenever you go to those superhero, like if you go to superherohype.com or like comic books, whatever, or like whatever websites,
I think
it's
Alfred
always
was
full
right.
of comments of just people ripping things. Like
Alfred was right.
people just want to watch the world burn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hashtag Batman makes everything better.
Mm-hmm.
I need that shirt.
So speaking of being upset and
we got a text too,
being
didn't we,
sad
from
about-
Brody?
I didn't see the text from Brody.
It's in there.
I didn't see it. You're more than welcome to find it.
Hold on, we're still in our frequencies are still hailed. Hell yeah. Hold on.
Okay, I don't see a text from Brody. I see texts.
Crap.
No,
I can't look it on this phone.
I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
Nothing at all?
I don't see any texts. I went into our voicemail. There's nothing. Was it on YouTube?
Maybe.
I can go to YouTube. I can look on YouTube. Let's look on the YouTubes.
I'm trying to look now.
Let's look on the YouTube.
Or maybe it was a voicemail.
It wasn't a voicemail either. I looked there. It was not on there either.
Love our show prep. Love it.
Rob's making up.
Look, this is on you. You said Brody sent a message, and I didn't see
Because it was the
anything.
breakdown of the Crusher timeline.
Where was that? I know what you're talking about.
See?
When
So
did he
screw
send-
you.
That might have been a couple episodes ago. You might be like thinking all the way back.
But we didn't read it. December 16th.
Oh my gosh, all the way back to and it was a text.
Ooh, vintage feedback.
Voicemail.
It was a voicemail. Okay.
From the vault.
Do you want a voicemail from the vault, folks?
Yes.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
So I'll set it up. So we were talking in an episode trying to figure out the Jack Crusher, the Beverly Crusher, and
Yes.
the Wesley Crusher timeline.
Because
And-
it seemed like the dad was either dad was old or mom was young.
Yeah, so we were debating what the timeline was, and we challenged someone who was maybe paying attention to.
Hey guys, it's Brody. So on the Jack Crusher timeline, I was doing some research after the episode, and through various things like Wikipedia and fandom and stuff like that, this is the best I could come up with, is that Jack was born sometime between 2321 and 2324.
Okay.
Beverly was born in 2324. They were married in 2348.
So Beverly's 3 years
So
older.
Jack was between 24 and 27, and Beverly was 24. Wesley was born just a year later at 2349, so Jack was 25 to 28. Beverly was 25, and then Jack died in 2353 between the ages of 29 and 32, and Beverly would have been 29. And then the next generation started in 2364, so Beverly was 40 and Wesley was 15. So the age gap wasn't that
Okay.
bad.
That math works out.
They were the same age, possibly. All right.
Thanks, Brody, because our math was scary.
Yeah, the math, whatever math we were doing
Was not mathing.
was criminal.
It literally was criminal. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Brody's math hopefully is a bit closer to reality.
Yeah. It does blow my mind that she is supposed to be 40 in Next Gen because she looks good for 40.
I think she looks great.
I mean, I wish I could look that good at 40.
Yeah.
And I'm 41 and you've seen her.
I think
Some
she
of you
looks,
have seen
I
her.
think she looks like a 1980s 40.
Not 80s, at least 90s 40.
No.
80s 40 is like the Golden Girls.
No, they were in their 60s.
Brody, first of all, thank you for sending that.
Yes, thank you.
And just I got a message for Brody. He's a host of the Talk Punch podcast. I just want to say, can you show this following sentence to Charlie? Thank you for correcting GIF to GIF like a normal person.
It is GIF. Everyone knows it's GIF.
It is a GIF.
He was calling it GIF.
Who?
Charlie from their show.
Oh.
Are you guys ready to GIF in your pants, though? I have some things I want to share with you.
Yeah.
It's actually going to upset you. And GIF,
Oh, trust me, I know
GIF
what one
is the opposite of...
I'm guessing I know what one of them is.
GIF goes inward. Batman was delayed
son of a bitch.
to
What?
2027. Batman was delayed till 2027.
27?
Yep.
October 1st of 2027.
Weren't we supposed to get it in 25?
No,
Or no,
we-
it was
We were
26.
supposed to get in 25, and
Oh,
then we were
yeah.
supposed to get in 26.
Yeah.
And now it's 27.
This is the exact same thing that happened with the first one, though. It got delayed 3 years in the long run. And they
Hashtag
kept-
delaying Batman makes everything better.
Yeah. So heartbreaking. But
so, go ahead.
on top of that heartbreaking news, that also means it affects the rest of the DC universe as well. The Brave and the Bold director for the Batman, for that one, that's getting delayed as well. It's being postponed a bit, is all he said.
Did you read the rumor why
No.
Batman 2 is being delayed?
No.
And why Brave and the Bold he's going to do another movie before it now?
Why?
The rumor is that it's to help try to figure out how to get that character in the DCU.
His Batman, Matt Reeves.
I don't believe rumor, but I'm just reporting
Oh,
that
no,
the rumor
thank
out there.
you. No, thank you. No,
I'm just
no,
saying what the
thank you.
rumor is. That's the rumor, but I don't believe the rumor.
I don't want that to be the case. I like him as being a standalone Batman in his own universe. I like it as a more grounded universe.
Me too. Because here's the thing. To me, if it comes out in sometime in 25, that they're like late 25, that we're working it into that would be as equivalent of them announcing that Joker 2 for Ledoux was a musical.
Yes.
It would take the air out of it would take a lot of the air out because that was the draw to the Joker and the draw to the Batman was these movies were outside of what was happening.
Yeah.
So they can exist they can be a little bit more realistic.
So the delay, the pain between, bless you. Hold on. Bless you.
Bless you.
Oh my gosh.
Now the pain between the Penguin, oh dang it, the Penguin and yes,
There it is.
and the Batman 2 is even more painful now. Like that coming out this early in the process just makes things sadder. Because now I don't have anything to kind of fill that gap for the Batman universe. I don't have a lot of faith in Brave and the Bold because I hate the Bat family anyway.
But aren't they with Superman? They're setting up this new universe, right?
Yeah. So
And
you're gonna go.
the tone. I mean, and this is just one trailer and one rumor, right? But the tone of that trailer does not match the tone of Matt Reeves' Batman universe.
I'd be very curious.
How could they marry that?
I'd be very curious. Well, I mean, have you gone to New York versus?
I know they're two different cities, but
or a third world country versus the United States or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would be interested in the challenge of it.
Yeah.
Do I think it'll work? I have no idea, but I'd be interested in the challenge of it, of the two, because they're polar opposite characters.
yeah,
And it would be interesting to see the attempt or something like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't want them to incorporate it in there, but I'd be interested to see the attempt.
I do trust Matt Reeves though.
I do. And I'm
So-
fine. But a 5-year gap between movies
That's
is,
tough.
is really
That is
long.
tough.
It's going to be Batman Beyond at that point.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Who knows? I don't want them to be in the same universe. Granted, we don't really know what James Gunn's cinematic universe is going to look like beyond the trailer for Superman. That's all we know. But
So
does
far.
that Superman seem like it would fit Batman?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, but again, there's a lot in between there to color in. There's a lot of pages to color in.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's
Especially
conversely.
if 27 is two full calendar years away.
I'd be very interested in the juxtaposition between the two because you had, Batman versus Superman and the Snyder stuff where Superman was just a weird version of Batman as far as tone,
Yeah.
where it'd be interesting to see the true tone of Superman versus the true tone of Batman.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see. But the 5-year gap between that and Batman, there's no Wonder Woman announced. There's no Flash, obviously.
Flash is on indefinite hold, he said.
Which is smart considering the prior attempts. So you're going to go multiple years, at least 5 years, 6 years between the DCU Superman and the DCU Batman or Wonder Woman or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a huge gap between heavy hitters.
Yeah.
But
And you have Marvel did it. I know. I'm just saying it just.
there's also the idea of like consumer fatigue.
Yeah.
And by spacing it out, you're kind of building anticipation rather than just giving them what they want. And then they're never full because of it. And that's what's happened with Marvel for so long. And they've slowed down. Marvel has slowed down significantly.
It's a smart move by Marvel.
I don't think Captain America 4 is going to be a big hit that it thinks it's going to be. I just don't see it being the case. And same thing with whatchamacallit?
Thunderbolts.
I don't think either of those.
I think Thunderbolts would be okay because it's got that Marvel tone people like.
But people don't like that tone anymore. That's the problem. They don't want that tone. They don't want goofy and
Tell that
cheesy.
to Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's different.
That's different.
I know.
That's way
That was a
different.
cheap shot. I'm aware.
Yeah. So also in the DC universe, the third DCU movie to be released. Did you hear what that's going to be?
I think so.
A
Clayface movie.
So I'm assuming it's going to be a scary movie, like a horror movie, which would be kind of cool.
You're a whore.
Yeah, I know. So that's it. I mean, it's interesting how they're going. And they asked James Gunn, like, why is that the third movie? He's like, easy, because their script is done and they're ready to film, right? Like, we're not rushing crappy
Well, you said
movies.
we're not going to greenlight anything that doesn't have a quality script.
Right.
But they'll go to a villain movie.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Off topic of that, though, I do want to talk about streaming and Disney Plus because I saw this report the other day that they have invested $650 million in season 1 and 2 of Andor, Star Wars Andor.
$650 million.
That's
the
a lot of
second season
cash.
alone. Season 2 accounted for $291 million in production costs, exceeding the $275 million budget of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
I mean, it makes sense. It's what's a 10-hour series, right? Give or take.
That's a lot of money
Versus
for
a 2.5-hour movie.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and you know what? Where this
Does that bring it? There's no way they can break
There's
even.
no way.
That's what I'm.
Do you have
curious
Disney
about.
Plus?
Andor is their
Do I
number.
yeah.
Andor is their number 1 rated Star Wars series that
Is
they've
it?
released by far, and it's really good.
Over Mandalorian? I thought Mandalorian was really well received.
I thought, yeah.
Mandalorian is well received, but I'm talking about in terms of reviews. I'm talking about like ratings, like not ratings. I'm sorry, overall cinema score.
Okay.
Right, like it's almost like a perfect score for the Andor. Mandalorian has slowly decreased every season. It's gotten because what more story can you tell? Really,
Season 1 was great.
Sorry,
You know what?
Thanks a lot for that.
I enjoyed all the
you son of a
seasons, but
bitch.
now the next one they're making a movie. Instead.
You know what Mandalorian could use?
Huh.
Batman.
That's true.
I mean,
Crossover.
he fits that universe. They wear the same kind of armor.
Hashtag.
really.
And he's not
Ben-
doing anything for the next 2 years.
Yeah, he's not
Next
busy.
5 years.
Yeah, so.
I like it.
I just it makes me wonder, again, this goes back to years ago when cable was so expensive. Everyone cut the cord and jumped over to streaming because they're like, oh, Disney Plus is only $4 a month. And this is only, and they were all cheap. And now they're slowly raising their prices.
I don't know about slowly.
Yeah, I know. They're jacking them up quickly now. And now it's to the point where you're paying cable prices for 3 streaming networks. And
Yeah.
and it's because they're spending $700 million on a show that may or may not be worth it.
Because they're blowing
can
money.
You justify the amount of views that it get.
Now, although they are getting. Did you guys watch the Simpsons NFL game recently?
I did not.
So they are getting NFL money. They're getting money from the NFL to broadcast their games.
Yep,
Aren't they paying the NFL? Or are they getting for commercials? Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, so there's these partnerships, but almost $750 million on one show. That seems insane.
Yeah.
Yes, it is insane.
Like that's crazy. And yeah, they probably did spend money on the rights to an NFL game. For it is just one game. But I mean, I don't know. Disney. What do you think is the best streaming platform? All in.
How it works? Oh, like the one I would be willing to spend the money on.
Yeah, like all in, like
none of
value
them
for money.
I don't think any of that. Well, if you're going
He's going to go Apple. We all know he's going to go Apple.
no, I'd go HBO Max. I think Max is the best value for money.
That's good because it has friends and all that.
Well, and then you got the Discovery Network as part of it. They have news, they have sports, they have all kinds.
We kind of need Paramount around here though for this show.
I know Paramount. Their app is garbage.
It's crap.
Paramount is one of the worst streaming services.
Oh yeah, it's
Paramount
terrible.
Plus.
The app is just awful.
Hey, do you guys ever watch anything other than Star Trek on Paramount Plus?
Yeah, I watch After Midnight occasionally and
Okay.
whatever they might offer. That's on the top page. Lioness, I might try because I like a good action show.
I want to try that one out. I also want to try what do they call it? Land something. I don't know what it's called.
Land Ho.
Land ho.
Yo, mom's a hoe.
Let's see. It
I've seen that show.
It should show Landman. It's got
Man.
Billy Bob Thornton. But yeah, I do want to see Linus. I heard Tulsa King is good as well.
I want to say Hulu's probably the best of the bunch, but then Netflix is really good for stand-up, which I really enjoy.
Netflix is good for.
But I think Hulu probably out of the bunch is the best because it's very diverse and it has its own original shows, but it also has classics, like a lot of classics.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Netflix cancels shows as fast as they bring them up.
Netflix does have Seinfeld too, though. So that's the thing.
Netflix also has How I Met Your Mother now too.
I'm watching AP Bio on.
Oh, that's a good show.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's fun. How long did it last?
I think there's still episodes. I think they're still making seasons.
My wife said
I
that
think you're right.
And this might be their last season then.
Because
I swear
it's been a fun watch.
Either it just ended or this is the last season. I want to say.
I like him because he's crazy and angry.
Yeah.
I like it.
What the
4
hell?
seasons. It ended in 2022.
Huh.
I just logged into Netflix and this is what I see. How the heck do I get to my movies? Oh, there we go.
Ta-dum.
They've changed their list.
It says Ta-dum by Netflix. What the hell is that? Like a Netflix off-brand?
I don't know what they're doing. Oh,
It's the Payless shoes of Netflix.
this is what I don't know what they've done, but this sucks. Oh, go to Netflix. Okay. Here we go. So they have like another website that pops up first. Oh yeah, Squid Game's out. The new Squid Game on there.
You can't
I like
air
that.
any Netflix stuff.
I know. I turned it down right away. Good show on Netflix. Kevin Can F Himself was on there. That was solid. Arrested Development's on there. I mean, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Seinfeld.
AP Bio was canceled by NBC, picked up by Peacock, canceled by Peacock.
Whoops.
Oops. Good Girls.
Wait, canceled by NBC?
Yeah, and then canceled by NBC. Is quickly picked up by Peacock. That doesn't
Went off network TV. It was a network television
network,
show, and it got
yeah.
picked up for streaming instead.
That's like you cutting a guy from the main roster and then them clearing waivers and
Like
then signing
practice
to the
squad.
practice squad.
Don't. You're still part of the team.
No, we still want you.
You're just not as pretty as we thought you
No.
were.
Sending or like baseball, sending you down to the minor leagues, right? Like,
Yeah.
we still see you being a part of this organization in the future. We just need you, to work out
just get
some
your
kinks.
swing right.
That's too bad. The show's been enjoyable.
I thought it was pretty good. I watched the first 2 seasons or so, just because it's Always in Sunny in Philadelphia adjacent.
Yeah,
So
I'm 10 episodes in.
it's a good watch.
Yeah.
They just had a party at one of the students' house.
Yeah.
I will want to very, very quickly because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because it's sports related. But can we talk about
love
how
football.
much? Can we talk about how much of a bust the college football playoffs have been?
It's terrible. The whole college football is just a.
It's just been
shit
all
show
chalk.
right now.
It's been.
They've all been blowouts.
Well, it's been yes. The clearly better team deserves to be there, but the lower team is like no, they don't deserve. Like
yeah, there was no
SMU.
reason for SMU. There was no reason for Indiana to make it, right? And they got
Indiana is the one. Like there was no reason for Indiana to make it. They played a shit schedule, and the only good team that they played, they lost to, and they lost badly.
They lost badly, yeah, to Ohio State, right? Yeah, exactly.
And they won every other game, but they played they didn't play Oregon, they didn't play Penn State. I don't think.
The one game that surprised me the most was OSU stomping Tennessee. I did not imagine that happening. I thought that would be a close game. I anticipated Ohio State winning.
I mean,
But they had a lot to prove after last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, they were a little bitter from the week
Yeah.
before.
They had a lot to prove after that loss to
The game
Michigan.
before.
And
Yeah,
Ryan
there's
Day
still-
is
there's-
fighting for his job
He's fighting
Right
for
now.
he
hair
really
dye.
is.
because he has not beaten Michigan in his career here.
If they get blown out by Oregon,
He might lose his
might
job.
lose his job.
He might lose his job. Yeah.
because I mean, beating up on Tennessee is whatever.
I mean, they were
but-
the number 9 in the country.
Yeah, but
You can't beat a terrible Michigan team, though.
it's true.
Yeah, and
It was
Michigan's-
terrible.
Michigan's playing Alabama, but
Bama.
those bowl games don't matter anymore because it's practice squad
The
players.
whole thing is
Yeah.
terrible.
It's the transfer
whole
portal
system is
players.
terrible.
It's a bad system. It's a bad system.
I mean,
Garbage.
Bryce Underwood is practicing with
I know.
Michigan.
I saw that
for their
right?
extra
For their
practices
spring
because
game.
it's
How
like
does that work with his high school?
Come on.
come on, what the
Come
fuck
on.
does it matter?
Does the high school just be like,
They're on break right now.
He's in dual enrollment. Haven't you ever had the dual enrollment classes when you were a senior, where you take you go to?
I mean, I suppose
like,
he's
shop.
got $10 million, so it's going to get to the point where it's like, why do we even bother with a high school education now when we're like getting our diplomas? I got $10 million. I got $10 million.
I'm sure they have a high school program at Michigan.
Yeah, I'm sure they. Yeah, or get his GED. So,
I wanted to quickly mention one thing that I don't normally do, but I did. For the first time this year, I saw a movie on Christmas Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had a Jewish Christmas. I had Chinese food and I went to the movies.
That's all right.
What'd you see?
I saw the Bob Dylan movie.
I want to see that
Unknown.
one. Yeah,
Complete
how
Unknown.
was it?
Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I will full disclosure. I fell asleep for about a half hour.
Okay.
It was Christmas.
Yeah.
And it was Christmas night. Like the movie started at 8, and I had just had Chinese food. So
yeah.
What Chinese food did you have?
Well, I wanted to get 10 yen, but they weren't open. So I got New China Moon on Plymouth Road in Livonia, and we did. My parents went. It was Tara and I, my parents, and my brother and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And we just got a bunch of 4 dinners, and everybody kind of
smorgasbord.
Yeah, and it was awesome. But the movie was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Timothée Chalamet was awesome as Bob
I
Dylan.
heard he's
I
incredible.
refuse to believe it. I hate
He
that
was
guy.
fantastic.
I heard he's really good.
And I love the story. It's a story of early Bob Dylan as the folk singer Bob Dylan up to the 1965 Newport Folk Festival where he goes electric and just pisses everybody off.
Yeah.
But it was great, and all the songs were Timothée Chalamet is singing as Bob Dylan.
Oh, okay.
In the same vein as Walk the Line, where Joaquin Phoenix was Johnny Cash and recorded the music as himself, and so did Reese Witherspoon as
Right. It's June.
as June Carter. So it was great. It was a fantastic movie.
So one of the things I was debating using that movie for my church series, but then I saw it was rated R for language. Extreme amount?
No, I wouldn't say an extreme amount, but there are several F-bombs.
Okay.
I don't know that it would be church appropriate.
Yeah.
Because it's, there's some drug use and alcohol, and there's, a lot of swearing. And
We're doing that right now.
Okay.
But I mean, the theme is kind of the same. It's because it's the folk festival, and it's all it's acoustic, and it's a chill environment to promote folk music, and it's then Dylan comes up on that, and then he makes bringing it all back home, and he goes electric for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's So now you're bringing your church group to a rock and roll concert.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So I've debated it. The first one we're seeing is Wicked, which is already coming to be able to buy digitally tomorrow. Even though it's still like number 3 at the box office, which blows. I kind of don't like how they're doing that.
Tomorrow is in December 31st, or
tomorrow's the 29th.
So it's as you're listening to this, it's already available.
It's available to purchase. Yeah. It's available to rent. I think it's available to rent online, not to purchase. So we're seeing Wicked for our first one, and the second one is Mufasa so far. So the other 2 are kind of up in the air.
Okay. So, yeah, I would give A Complete Unknown an 8.5.
Nice. Okay.
As far as biopics go, or biopics, however you want to say it, but like it's up there with some of the better ones.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of an 8.5, let's turn it over to Nick, who's an 8.5.
You are an 8.5.
As we move into Star Trek. Are we ready to move into Star Trek, gentlemen?
Warp speed, baby.
Warp 9. Make it so, number 1. Oh, I need a make it so for that.
You do.
I can't believe we don't have a make it so.
That's true.
I have a lot of these.
My child.
Oh.
My child.
But that comes into play in this one.
My child.
Because Noonien Singh's
My child.
returns home.
Yeah.
Family. So, Vin Diesel's driving his car down the road. And he says he needs more NOS. And they're like, we're all out of NOS. And he's
I
like,
watched
that's
the
okay.
wrong episode then.
I have family.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere, right? That was surprising when Vin Diesel showed up.
Toretto is his name. Toretto is his name. So Data goes rogue, man. Data gets activated. A homing beacon gets activated in him. He takes over the Enterprise so he can go back home. He goes home, and it's Dr. Noonien Singh. He thought he was dead, but it turns out he wasn't. Noonien Singh has called him home because he loves his Data, and he's dying, and he wants to talk to him. But as they're sitting there talking, all of a sudden Lore appears, and they're like, wow, Lore, how did you appear? And he's like, my homing beacon was activated too. And Noonien Singh's like, I didn't want to activate it on you. And Lore's all butthurt because he's the first child, but he's treated like a stepchild because it turns out, he lied about everything. Like the villagers didn't like him, not because he was superior to them. He was a prick. And they were scared of him because they thought he was going to kill him. And Noonien Singh says, look, I'm sorry, Lore, I failed you, but like, I love you. But Data, I got an emotion chip for you, boo. And he goes to install the emotion chip in Data, and he actually installs it in Lore because they look exactly the same. And Lore goes nuts, throws him against the table, and leaves. And Data no longer has an emotion chip. And then the crew comes in and rescues him. Meanwhile, a kid is dying on the ship from a disease, and by the end of the episode, Data buys him a dinosaur, and it makes him happy.
All right, can we get the B plot out of the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're brothers.
It's so stupid.
They needed a filler.
Well, and I really didn't like this plot because at the end of the day, like, it ends with Dr. Crusher saying, because they're brothers and brothers always forgive. And then it turns to Data. And it's like the implication is he needs to forgive Lore for
I get
what Lore
that
did.
part,
But
but
it's
it
like,
was-
See, I don't think I guess that was the implication, wasn't it?
yeah, but here's the thing. Lore is a genocider.
Yeah.
Okay. Lore has murdered thousands.
He's just misunderstood.
You don't. But yeah.
Have you met the colonist? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't because they're all dead.
maybe they deserved it.
The crystalline entity took them out.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Yeah. That B plot was weird.
It was also bad.
It was. I don't know if it was so much bad because I could see that being a part of the ship. I think the part that cracks me up the most is the parents went on sabbatical and they're just like, peace out from our kids for 6 months to a year, right? Because that's usually what sabbaticals are. So
That's
they're just
fine.
like, Enterprise will take care of
Yeah.
our kids.
Well, Beverly did the same thing to Wesley.
Yeah, but Wesley was at least working on the ship,
Yeah,
right?
and he was like-
these are just kids going to school.
And
like-
wasn't Wesley like 15 or
yeah,
16?
these kids are like 12 and like 7 and like.
And Wesley's one. These two are trying to kill each other.
And
or one's trying to kill the other.
And the conversation was like Riker allowed them to stay there, and then this accident happens, right? And he tells Picard, I let their parents go, and Picard's like, what'd you do?
You let them go on sabbatical?
You let their parents go? Get those kids off my ship. So that's 3 family episodes in a row between episode family, brothers, and then suddenly human. It's all about family.
Yeah.
This is the season of Fast and the Furious. It's the Fast and the Furious
This
season.
is the Fast and the Furious season. But I love it's a weird storyline. Like I think it could. I don't think it's a bad storyline, but
the Bree story.
Yeah, I just don't think it. I think why they were using it did not fit the tone of it. Like, first of all, Data is incapable of emotions, so like forgiving and whatever. Like,
well, they used it as a way to kind of say.
loving.
Are you talking about the episode as a whole, or just the B plot with the kids?
How the B plot ties into Data.
Well,
right?
I get why they're trying to get like the rush to try to get that sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Because the kid's gonna die, and what better to placate to like the audience than making a kid die? Apparently,
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't have the balls to do it, but
yeah, let the kid die.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
Was he 5? Because we could beat the crap.
I could still beat him up. He was what, 10, 11? I could still beat him up.
We could beat him up. Yeah.
I was like, oh, they're gonna they introduced this B plot, right?
Yeah.
This problem, and then they don't solve it in the episode, and then you're just
that's true. They're just leaving.
so you're just left to assume that they solved this because
He did. In his captain's log, he said we arrived to the planet in time, and he just needs to be in quarantine for X amount of time.
Yeah, that's right.
So they resolved it
they
off
wrapped
screen.
it up off screen, and I'm just like, okay,
But they gave it on-screen time, so
I
they
didn't-
should wrap it up on screen.
I didn't need the time dedicated to the on-screen resolution, though.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
Well, that tells you
I mean,
how it was a weak story too.
frankly,
right?
I didn't need the on-screen time dedicated to the
On-screen time.
to this whatever they gave it.
I
get the parallel because it's brothers.
Yeah.
Right? I get it.
But I appreciate how they show that commanding the ship isn't just about like interacting with Ferengi or Klingons and like having battles, but it's dealing with interpersonal crap. And that's probably a majority of their time is spent with stupid stuff like that. Like especially Riker's as the first officer. Like Picard ain't messing with that crap. Picard is not.
No, that's below his pay grade.
Episode, as you know, you might not know this, but I'm not great with
That
children.
was fantastic.
That
Really?
was good.
That was but it also shows that Picard's fully aware too, because it's like how long, all these his ship has been taken over.
Yeah.
And he's still like, how long has that kid got? I hate him, but how long has he got?
Listen, I felt like it was Pawn Stars who's like, best I can do, get him to another place and they can help him.
Exactly. That's like
Beverly's like, I got this kid who needs help. And he's like, listen, best I can do is someone else can do this for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually like part of it too, because you know how often they solve and cure these uncurable things on ship.
Yeah.
And they needed a starbase to actually do it. So I kind of appreciated that
Starbase 80.
it was out of
Yeah.
their realm, I guess you could say, or out of their power. Because I mean, too often Bashir would always solve.
Hashtag fire Beverly. She's not good at her job. She couldn't fix it.
Yeah. Bring back Pulaski.
No, don't ever say that.
It's been 2 seasons since Pulaski, and I still have not forgiven them.
Yeah, no.
Though she was not as terrible. You know what it was? If the show started off with Pulaski, it probably wouldn't have been as bad.
It
But
would-
they have
it-
Crusher
it would have
and
been-
then go to Pulaski.
It wouldn't have lasted 2 years with her for 2 years.
She was terrible.
Garbage.
She was garbage. I mean, I don't know.
Did you say she was good?
She wasn't. I said she wasn't garbage.
She was garbage.
She was hot garbage.
She was hot
she
garbage.
was actually she wasn't even hot garbage. She was lukewarm garbage.
Yeah.
I want to throw in the landfill, and that's not down the street. It's cover.
Cover her.
So the A plot was, I thought the A plot made up for how bad the B plot was.
You know what's so funny is I kind of struggled. Like, I don't want to
This
say I
is a
hated
pretty
this
revered
episode.
episode.
I know, but I didn't hate it, but it didn't hit me either at the same time. Like it wasn't.
How about Brent Spiner in 3 roles?
Yeah,
That was impressive.
that was impressive.
That
'Cause that was when I was after the show. I saw the credits rolling, and it was like it says Brent Spiner is the
Noonien Singh,
Lore Singh. Like
Or,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, so I went and did my little research on the episode. I'm like, oh, he's like the Jeffrey Combs of this episode.
I know.
Yeah, he literally does all the roles, and it's a pretty impressive job on how they did it too. Like, because normally it's pretty obvious when it's the same actor and they do that screen thing where they're standing up to each other, and you're like,
Yeah, they never could quite get that right.
No, they never could. But they didn't do a bad job with this one.
Yeah, well, this
especially
one was
with-
better than like Data Lore.
I mean,
Yeah.
considering it's 1990.
Yeah, exactly. They did a pretty solid job with doing the doppelganger stuff on this one.
He's one actor in 3 characters in one
One scene
interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was interesting. Like his not his dialect, his accent was weird as heck. Like
Yeah.
Noonien Singh's was super weird. Obviously, that was intentional. They wanted to make him sound a little different, right? So it didn't sound like Data. But like, there would have been something to making him sound exactly like Data and Lore because he modeled him after them. So that would have been kind of nice.
Yeah, but all three of them, like Lore sounds more like Data than Noonien and Singh.
Yeah.
But even Lore sounds different than Data. Like all three of them have a.
Well, because Lore has emotion, right? So there's like a little more anxiety behind when he talks. There's not
there's
slow,
a little
steady,
more
calm.
animation in his voice.
Exactly. Where when Lore talks, you're like, oh, this guy is about to lose it every single time. But yeah, you're right. Brett Spiner does a great job. I like the interactions between Lore and Noonien and Singh, like the whole thing where he was leaving and he's like, I don't need you anymore, Father. I hate you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm dying. And then he turns around and like he's immediately sad, you know, like, because that's really kind of how emotions with families work, right? You're like, I can't stand you. I never want to see you again. Oh, but I'm dying. Oh my gosh, I love you so much though, right? Like there is something to that too.
I just had an interaction similar to that. I mean, my dad's not dying, but I mean, we're all dying. Just at a different pace. But I just had an interaction with my dad where the conversation started out fine, and then it got to a certain subject, and my dad is stubborn and not informed. And it's not it wasn't political.
Is it
or anything.
Patreon thing we could talk about when we record next?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
But then, so I got upset with my dad, and I didn't yell at him, but like it got like a heated discussion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't want to do this. Don't bring this up. This is not going to end well for you. I kept sending out warning flares, and he kept going. And then my mom and I left to do some Christmas shopping, and we had a conversation. And then it was like, oh, the holidays are right around the corner.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, no big deal. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Family dynamics are interesting when you get emotion involved.
Yes.
And big emotional swings, like, you have some sort of conversation, and there's an emotional swing one way, and then it's like, well, I'm dying.
Yeah.
Or, your mother's dying, or something's happening, and it's like, okay, now you have the pendulum has to come back.
Right.
And you can't, I don't know, it is like a pendulum. There's big swing. When it comes to family, there are big swings of emotions.
Yeah.
Both ways frequently.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know, it's hard to make that turn sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and for all what you said, like, I think that's what to me, this was the most powerful scene of the whole episode. And to me, that was the heart of the episode, like what it means to be family and what it means to have emotions and have to balance those emotions with logic and how often those conflict with one another. And I don't know, I that was the scene in the show that I'm like, oh, this is great, right? Like this was a good episode because of that. The rest of it, between like later on when Laura gets the chip put in and he gets a little pompous with him and hits him and knocks him down, I think that's probably a reaction because of the chip. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I feel like there's something with the chip because they're like, it's not meant to work with you.
He said, well, afterwards he goes, I don't know what it's doing, but it's doing something. It was after he tossed often wrong.
Right, exactly.
But, I mean, Lore did try to destroy the Enterprise, so I think it kind of fits his character without the chip.
Right, but again, he never tried to kill his own
jealousy
father.
took over.
He did with the crystalline entity, though.
Yeah.
And his jealousy took over because he had this chip ready for Data, but he didn't realize Lore was still a thing.
Right.
So I just think it was Lore being a douche.
Yeah.
Lore being Lore.
He's a psychopath.
Yeah.
He was a psychopath. Poor Data. And he can't even process the fact that his brother's a murderer and tried to kill his father again.
I'm not less perfect than Lore.
I know. So you were lying to me the whole time. That is another lie. Brother, I'm truly happy for you. I do not believe what you are saying.
I so appreciated Data calling that out. Hey, don't reactivate him. Hey, I doubt your sincerity, because when he smiled, the first thing I thought when Soong presented the chip and said, hey, I know how difficult it's been. And then Lore was like, hey, yeah, it's been difficult, brother. It'll be cool. And I'm like, if they fall for this. I'm glad Data didn't.
Well, he kind of did because he got knocked out. And,
Well, he got knocked out. He didn't fall for it necessarily. He got sucker punched or something.
yeah, I mean, because Lore's schemy.
Can I say at the beginning of this episode, there's one thing I hate. I hate how easy it was for Data to take over the ship. I hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it.
I think it makes sense.
No, because they know there's another Data out there in the ethos somewhere that they transported off the ship.
They thought he was dead.
No,
the crystalline entity took him.
I think they just
No, the crystalline entity. They
I
put
don't
down their
care.
shields and the crystalline entity took
wasn't
him.
Lore able to do something like that in the first episode too? Mimic somebody and
Yes.
and they know it's a
He was,
possibility.
he was mimicking Data.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or he used the voice of Picard at one
and
point.
he mimicked Data. To your point, there's no failsafe from that. You know what Data can do. He's programmable. No one else can do that. There's no failsafe that was put in place.
You know what my favorite
None.
scene in the whole
None.
show, the whole episode was when Data was acting as Picard and put in that long ass
yeah,
code.
Yeah.
He's like, it's 1 5 6 7 8 9 10.
Alpha
Like,
Bravo Tango. Yeah, like
it was like a 55 digit password.
Ain't nobody breaking that.
no one.
It'd be funny if it was like, new password can't be the old password.
Right.
That'd be great.
Oh my gosh! Please try again.
Son of a bitch.
You have used this password within the past 6 months. Please try again.
Can't be the same as one of the past 3 passwords.
Oh
Son
my-
of a bitch.
Oh my gosh!
Passwords do not match.
7 6 7 7 8 9
you think
6
the-
3 J Rock 4 8.
You think the Enterprise would recognize that password and go, you know what? Do you want to confirm that for me just to make sure?
Yeah, should
Yeah.
you
You
repeat
write
that back
that.
one time?
You have entered password 7 6 4.
Right, like there's a reason why when you're creating a new password, it asks you to retype it, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to make sure you get it right.
And if it's something's that long, you think the Enterprise would have been like, you know what? Let's just verify.
Is it like the master code to the Enterprise or something? Because it was, I've never, in all the Star Trek episodes where I've heard of like an authorization code being required by a computer or anything,
Yeah.
it's always like maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6
Not
digits.
here, man.
Not 15 or 20.
Data
not-
can remember it. That's the best part.
Not here.
I know.
Not here.
8 7 6 5 4 3
309.
9er.
But I hate
You,
that
you throw a
trope.
9er in there?
I hate that trope so much.
I didn't mind it because I think this is a real thing. Like,
No.
how do you have a android on your ship that can easily be hacked into and controlled? Like, that's not good. That's not good, man.
Yeah.
Like, so I kind of like it. And I like the idea that no matter what sort of securities they put in place, because he's a learning android, he's smarter than them and he'll always figure it out before them. And that's kind of what makes Data a good character, right? Where Lore is evil, right? You see Data is good, so therefore you don't have to worry about that sort of thing with him. But Lore is freaking evil, and he's all powerful, and he's going to be able to always take over your ship, basically.
They got no Batman on this ship because Worf should be Batman planning for every contingency.
Worth the idiots. And the force fields, all of the idiots running head first in the force fields instead of like reaching their hands out and making sure there wasn't a force field there.
I have a whole problem with that whole sequence of events.
Stupid.
I can't stand it. Like no one would anticipate they'd raise some force fields. Come on.
I know, come on.
I mean, I know Riker was in there, but they waited in the transporter bay where a force field can be erected when he's like, hey, they'll probably fool us with force fields, but yeah, we've got fooled. Come on.
I actually think the problem is not all the hijacking he did to take over the ship. The problem becomes with the very initial scene where he sits down at the station, changes the course, and they're like, Data. And he completely ignores them, and they're like,
Well, they were trying to. What they tried to do is set like an event right after they talked to Data, because that's Wesley would talk, and then the life support cut out. It wasn't executed well, but yeah,
it wasn't executed.
I know what they
well.
tried to
Yeah.
do, but
My gripe with it was there was a lot of techno babble in the beginning there.
Oh yeah,
And it was just like techno, like
red alert, red alert, red alert. Oh, we just made a song.
Yeah, we did.
right down.
Yeah.
Can I get that? Can I get the board?
The red alert
The-
techno
yeah.
song.
Red alert techno song.
I'll start
My
working.
child, my child,
My
my
child,
child,
my
my child. Oons, 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 oons. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Number one.
Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley. And then you just have one drop of like They were real. They're in here. It just stops.
It's a fake.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
I just kind of expand that out.
Yeah. Fake. Unza, unza,
Engage.
unza, unza, unza. Man, we're on to something here. I don't know if it's anything, but it's something.
We got to start crossing some of those off that list.
No. We add. We only add.
No, man. We got to do the.
We have to execute one.
We have to do the movie scene thing. My wife saw that. Did I tell you that?
What?
She says, "What is the recreate movie?" I don't want to ruin it for Patreons when we actually get around to doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's like, "Does that what?"
Recreate erotic movie scenes. Sexy late night 1-900 commercial. Pick up the phone.
Wait, recreate erotic movie scenes, like anything specific?
No, remember
Like-
we were talking about Top Gun.
No,
Oh.
no. Oh, I was
I
talking
was the
about
ghost.
Ghost.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I was
what it was.
thinking.
But then we talked about the Top Gun
And
one.
it's
Okay.
Odo. It's Odo being formed by Kira.
I mean,
That
it
would
was,
be pretty cool.
I mean, it was going to be us.
And then it's one of the prophets, the prophets behind her, helping her merge.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Okay. Anything else from Brothers? Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, to Suddenly Susan.
This predates Suddenly Susan.
The crew rescues 5 teenage crew members, 4 Talarian, 1 human. His name is Jono Ono.
Engage.
Yoko Ono. Jono keeps to himself, and he won't listen to anyone but Captain Picard because Captain Picard is ordering him around. And Jono's got all kinds of past injuries. Turns out Jono was a kid named Jeremiah. He was a Federation citizen, but he was captured during a Talarian raid when they were at war. And he has family at home. And the Enterprise crew is like, you want to be a human, you want to be human, you want to be human. And Jono's like, no, I'm a Talarian. Deal with it, bros. Suck it. And they're so intent on making him decide to stay with Earth. Well, Andor, his father who took him in, who is Talarian, arrives and he's like, I want my kid back. And they're like, we don't even believe you care about this kid. And then they show them together and they really care. And it's this weird back and forth where they're trying to decide who gets the kid. It's like a custody battle. And then one night Jono decides to stab Captain Picard, and he does it because all of a sudden he's starting to want to become more human, but he realizes in doing that he's drawing away from his own family. So he wants to close that door. So by stabbing the captain, he's closing that door. And Captain Picard at that moment realizes, I need to send him home to his daddy. I'm not saying it today. I'm not saying anything.
No, you're not.
I'm not doing it. So Andor is getting ready to declare war on the Federation over this
Terrorism.
And Captain Picard shows up and he apologizes. He's like, I was wrong. Like, we were emotionally manipulating this kid, telling him what he wanted. He already knows what he wants. He wants to be with his dad. Here you go. He gives him back his kid. But as he's getting ready to leave, Talarians, who are notoriously xenophobic, as he gets on the pad, he takes off his gloves and he holds his hands to Picard's head and rests his head against him, and then he leaves the ship. To me, that was
Nice.
that was like the best scene of the whole episode. Like that's a powerful moment, right? Like, I know it sounds silly, but I'm like, oh, that's what made that episode good.
I kind of forgot about it. Actually, they did
Yeah.
a nice job
Moving those
introducing that early, so I forgot about it and then brought it back at the end, so it wasn't so obvious.
Yeah.
That was nice. Did I hear it right when Worf was describing the armaments of the Talarians that they were basically like pea shooters?
that they're not very strong.
They're like missiles and lasers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are we really worried about a war with these guys?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, zap, you're done.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pew.
there's gonna be a lot of death. Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Well, and their ship shows up, and it's not like it's tiny compared to the Enterprise.
It's like
It's like
a
the
spirit plane.
It's like the Enterprise took a dump and that was a ship.
Yeah, it's kind of like
It says
when
spirit on the side.
It is. It's like when a Romulan warbird shows up too, like next to the Enterprise D, right? Can you?
At least the Enterprise doesn't look like a dump.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But
It's like the Escalade next to that nice whatever.
we got our third family episode in a row, man. Third in a row.
And right around Christmas time.
Right around Christmas time. Look at this. What worked? What didn't work for you for this episode?
Suddenly Susan ran for 4 seasons on NBC from
I
1996
loved
to
that
2000.
show back. I had a huge crush on her.
The first episode of Suddenly Susan called First Episode. The
What?
last episode of Suddenly Susan called
Last episode.
The Finale.
Who was on that show? I can't remember.
Brooke Shields,
Shields.
Nestor
Oh.
Carbonell, Kathy Griffin, Judd Nelson. Yeah.
Solid show. I thought it was a solid show.
Is it Reba territory?
First episode.
No.
first
Few things
guess-
are Reba territory.
Guess how many viewers the first episode got?
20 million.
I'm going to say 18.5 million.
30.12
Holy
million viewers.
Jesus Christ!
Okay, 1996. Did it follow Friends? Did Friends, or did it lead into Friends
Let's find out.
or Seinfeld?
It doesn't say. Doesn't say. But by the end of its run, it was getting 5 million an episode.
I think it was part of that must-see TV.
It had to be because the
Run.
first season, like even the finale of the first season was 21 million viewers. Then next season it was down to 13 million, then down to 12, and then season 4 bombed. So
Yeah.
season 4 must have been moved because they were down to like 8 million an episode. Let me see. I'm gonna research this. So talk about what works and what doesn't work.
I thought
Airing between Seinfeld and ER during its first season.
Okay, so that makes sense.
we got to go right to. I'm going right to the conversation with Troy and Picard. And I don't know. You probably haven't noticed this, but I'm not exactly comfortable around children. And she was like, "Oh, really?
You don't say.
No, we haven't even noticed
Get
it.
out.
Shut up."
You know, now that you mention it, I
I did notice when you yelled at that one kid that was on
yeah,
your
you
bridge.
stabbed the other kid in the neck.
Yeah, I see it now.
I see it now.
I see it now.
Now, when you say that, when you say it like that, now I see everything in a different perspective.
I love how dense Picard is to realizing that the crew doesn't know that or knows that, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like, I don't know if you knew that. Come on, bro. It's not
Yeah.
like it's obvious. And
I don't know if
I
you know this, but I fucking hate kids.
I so
And I love
appreciate.
how the crew all plays dumb.
Whoa, what?
What?
Get out! You're so good with them, though.
I appreciate that scene so much, just because it was so
It's
subtle,
it's meta. It's a
Yeah.
meta scene. Like it's
It is.
but
yeah.
it was so funny. It just cracked me up.
Yep. It is very much so.
although in his defense, the noise that those brats were making. Like,
Yeah.
no, I wanted to bash their heads against a wall.
I did
like,
too. I'm
I,
like-
I like when he just finally was like, basically like, just everyone shut the fuck up, like
Yeah.
stop,
And it worked.
and it did work.
It did.
I'm the captain now.
I am the
Yeah,
captain.
I am the cat.
You shall shut
Shut it.
Shut it right.
Shut it real good. So that worked. I appreciate. I again the consistency that he does not like kids.
Yeah.
No
and-
matter what age.
and they haven't wavered on that yet, which is
Nope.
good.
Nope.
Although he bonded with this
It took a while.
young man.
Yeah, it took a while, and I appreciate that it wasn't immediate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did take a while, and for both of them, right? It wasn't like one bonded to the other right away. They both bonded almost at the same exact time.
Well, yeah,
and it
usually-
was that game that they played together in
Yeah,
Holodeck.
and he
Yeah.
had to hear the voices in his head. Yeah,
Yeah, when I hear voices in my head, I try to bond with people pretty quickly.
the
too.
voices in my head are crazy.
Crazy.
I would, the thing I was going to say that didn't work is that kid is an actor. I thought he was terrible.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was really bad.
Not very good.
This was not a good casting. This poor kid.
No.
And I don't want to hold it against him because there was an adult in charge who said, "You're good enough for this role." So,
This was worse than the Tar Monster casting.
Oh,
his name is Chad Allen.
Chad.
He's
This is his one and only acting credit.
He's an actor and a psychologist.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh, he played Tommy Westfall in St. Elsewhere. He was the autistic child in the series finale
That
episode.
tracks.
He was a regular on a show called Our House.
Our house.
In the middle of the street.
Our house.
Oh, he was on Webster for 7 episodes.
Probably drugs.
My Two Dads.
Oh, my two dads.
He
He
was
my
one
God.
of the dad. He was
Not
one of the dads.
He was the kid.
was one of the gay guys.
He was a kid, I think, because it was 89, 90, so he would have been a kid.
My two dads was only one season.
26 episodes.
That's
Wow.
that's one I forgot.
Yeah, me too.
My Two Dads.
I always get it confused with My Three Sons. Do you remember My Three Sons?
Oh, trust me, my parents.
Old school, like Nick at Night.
Like, my parents had 3 kids, so you damn well know they made us watch that.
He was on Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, 146 episodes, Matthew Cooper. So obviously, okay, so either he was he was just a bad actor at this point in his career, or it was bad direction.
Direction, or that's the way they wanted to play it. Who knows?
I don't know, but it was bad. It was not good. It was not good at all. And I'm not happy with it. What can I say?
I forget. They weren't gay.
Yeah,
They both banged the same lady.
Yeah, and they don't.
and they didn't know who the dad was, so they just assumed we both be the dad.
The series begins in 1987 after Marcy Bradford, mother of 12-year-old Nicole Bradford, has died. The 2 men who had competed for Marcy's affections in Key West during the summer of '74. Wow. 2 guys, Michael and Joey, former friends turned rivals over their mutual interest in Marcy, are awarded joint custody of Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Nicole's paternity is never revealed on the show.
Wow. So
in the episode Pop, the question, Michael and Joey, after a falling out, have a DNA test to determine which of them is Nicole's biological father. The test is conducted against Nicole's wishes. She is not happier knowing who her true father is, and she destroys the results before opening them.
Oh, wow.
Michael and Joey later resolve their differences and reconcile.
Was that the girl? Was that the same?
Judge Wilbur looks at the results but throws them away without revealing them to the audience.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was the girl on that show, was that the same girl as in Step by Step? Or am I thinking a different show?
Step by step, day by day. Stacey Keenan?
Yes. Yes, it is.
See, I remember when Step by Step came out. I'm like, I know this girl.
I had such a crush on Stacey Keenan during Step by Step days. Like later seasons,
Yeah.
Stacey Keenan.
I had a crush on her younger
Dana
sister.
Foster.
Yeah.
Dana. She was mean. She dated the guy's best friend.
Sasha.
Yeah.
To tie it back in, she was on an episode of Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes, good for you, girl.
All right, so Suddenly Human. Suddenly Susan. I lost my train of thought.
I like this episode as an allegory for this was probably right around. This was like within a couple years of remember that Baby Jessica thing or whatever, where the one family adopted her.
Oh yeah,
and then the other family decided they wanted her back, and they went in court and fought about her, and then she ended up getting returned to the initial family.
Yeah, old school family drama. Like
yeah, right.
That was I remember that.
I remember.
That'd be huge.
I have the impression. I don't remember specifics.
What's that Baby Jessica like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the one that fell in the well?
Ooh.
That wasn't Baby Jessica?
Oh, she was Jessica in a well. That's what it was. She fell in a well. But there was a kid who was adopted, and then the parents decided they wanted her back, and it was national news. The birth parents wanted her back.
Well, they can't do that.
I don't think that should be okay. Like
No,
once you renounce those rights, you renounce because the psychological toll that takes on the family that's adopted that child who's loved
and the
that
kid
and cared for that kid. Well, you could argue at that age, I mean, it's still going to leave an impact. Like they've shown that kids can understand trauma from a very early age. The thought is that the kid's early enough that they'll never remember the initial family. But I don't know. That sucks. But like, it's a reminder of like, what does it mean? What is family? Right? Is it blood?
Family.
Or is it what you make on the racetrack?
Or in space.
Or in space.
Or on buildings.
You call this here and that down there family?
Mm-hmm.
It's Ninja Turtles.
I know. Oh, trust me, I know. I still want to do that rewatch with you guys.
Yeah, that was Casey.
Yeah.
Casey was talking to the kid.
Yep.
What's the kid's name?
Hold on.
It's somebody famous. I can't think of his name.
Hold on. What's his name?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hold on. Don't tell me.
See his friggin' face.
I'll have it ready for you.
Are you talking about the actor or the name of the kid?
The actor.
Oh, I'm thinking I think he's asking for the name in the show.
I don't remember the name of the kid, but
yes.
Danny. His name was Danny.
Oh.
I got there.
It is Danny, yes.
Was he talking to? He wasn't talking to Danny during this scene. He was talking to.
No, he was talking to Danny because Danny was part of the foot. He was getting in with the foot,
I
and he
that.
was like, he was basically asking like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" Like he's like,
You call it that
family.
Well, family. I thought
we're
he was
family.
talking to that famous actor that was in that movie for a second. I can't think of his goddamn name.
Sam Rockwell.
Yes, thank you.
No, I believe he was talking to Danny. It was after he beat up the Shredder's second in command guy.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. He saw
Tatsu.
this here and that down there, and he was pointing to that guy, family. And then he was basically like, "Yeah, you're right. Let's go rescue Shredder, or let's go rescue Splinter." And
Yeah, exactly. Oh, did you know Skeet Ulrich is in that movie as an unnamed member of the Foot Clan?
No, I didn't. I don't remember that.
Sam Rockwell is in there. Scott Wolf is in there. The guy who played Danny Pennington does not have a Wikipedia page, so I'm assuming he did nothing after that. Michael Turney. So, Elias
Good.
Cordius.
I can reminisce about that era of film. Just going to the theater, trying to get there like 3 or 4 times to see the movie.
mm-hmm.
Man, that was
Judith Hogue was at GalaxyCon.
GalaxyCon, or was she local here in Motor
Oh,
City?
Motor City Comic Con. She looked good. Good for her. Anyway, so going back to that, this idea of family being blood
Terrible at this.
versus
I think we're great.
being something you build, right? And I like this idea that they're so intent. The Federation people are like, I understand that you love this guy. I understand that your whole life is there. I understand that, but your DNA matches this, so this is where you should be. And he's like,
Yeah.
that's not where I'm happy. I'm happy here. And they're like, but no, your DNA.
You were stolen.
And it's like,
You were
It's kind of racist in a way, like without being.
you're human. You're one of us.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be
One
over there
of
with
us.
those Talarians.
One of us.
One of us.
I mean, it is like, well, yeah, we know that you were born here and you're happy here, but it says here you're from India. You're Indian, so we're gonna need you to go. You got to go to India.
Yeah.
That's where your DNA says you got to go.
Gotta go.
Sorry.
And the guy's like, but my name is
Yeah.
Steve Johnson. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do? Sorry.
DNA says you got to
Sorry,
go.
it's Charani now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
DNA says hit the
I was
bricks,
trying to
bro.
think of an Indian name. I'm not good with Indian names. I couldn't think of any. Popular.
I'm not,
No, just
stop.
Just
Popular.
stop.
I'm going to look up popular Indian names.
I hate you guys.
Ramesh. Sorry,
Man.
you're Ramesh now.
yeah.
Kamal. You're Kamal. Deal with it. Mohandas. Deal with it, Mohandas.
Just stop.
I tried to make a point.
just
I thought my
stop.
point was well made, and then Nick, like peanut punched the ball out,
Yeah.
I did. I
and
do
then
that.
ran into his own end zone,
I did.
and then scored a touchdown for
I
us.
feel bad for poor Amir. He's living in Bombay. Doesn't speak a lick of Indian.
I don't think Indian is a language, bud.
What would it be? Punjabi?
I've gone down the rabbit hole this
Language of India.
You guys know we're supposed to be talking about Star Trek.
Shh. Hindi.
far. That's what I was gonna say, but I didn't want
Hindi.
to. Okay.
Wow, I sound so uninformed there. I'm sorry, listeners. I hate
Hey.
myself too.
Listen,
Not as much as we hate you.
it's the last show of the year. You got to get all the kinks out before our
And-
New Year's resolution of
And I
being
am sore
less.
because I've been busy building a wall.
Jesus.
I asked if he was going to make your neighbors pay for it.
I'm helping Rob build a wall in his house, and I showed it to Joe.
Build a friggin' wall.
build a freaking
I mean,
wall.
coincidentally, it is to keep things out of in one roundabout way. Did you
way.
have like squirrel? Was it squirrel or
raccoon.
A raccoon and a-
raccoon problem?
But it wasn't about the chin. That wasn't about it. We
But it solves that problem.
yes, it solved the problem in a way. But we'll talk about it more on Patreon just for fun.
Now it's just gonna be
evolved.
scratching at the wall.
Yeah.
You're just gonna hear.
poor,
Oh, it's capped up there now.
poor raccoon can't get in.
I always
can't
liked
get
it
out.
when the raccoon got in there because I could blare music super loud because they hate it.
Yeah, and they leave. Yeah.
until they just become fans of
Man,
Alter Bridge.
It was more Power Man, just pure adrenaline the entire time.
And all of a sudden, you'll just raccoon up on your roof, headbanging all the time. You're like, what is
How's that raccoon doing the devil horns?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's got a sculpted goatee now.
So family. I think it's I think this episode had a really solid message. I think it was a nice episode for Picard, who grew as a person. I think there had a little bit of humor in there with Deanna
Yeah.
Troy. I thought it was a solid episode. Do I need to ever watch it again? No.
Okay, so I mean, do we have anything else that we're gonna on this one?
I've given up.
Let's move to ratings. Okay.
Okay, so I want to do ratings, and then I have a question.
Okay. Brothers.
6. I think.
I liked it a little more than 6.
I gave it a 6 as well.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Jack my style.
Suddenly Seymour.
Hmm?
Little Shop of Horrors.
I hate that movie.
Not a fan.
Yeah, no.
6.
Ooh.
Ooh.
5.
I was thinking 5 as well.
All right, what's your question?
Rank the family trilogy from best
This
episode
was the worst.
to worst.
This was the worst. Data second worst. Best was the Picard one.
So went
It
best
goes in order. Yeah.
best second.
It starts to decline, and then they're like, "Guys, these episodes are getting worse. We got to stop the family stuff. Let's have the doctor fall in love with a ghost."
I can't wait to that episode.
Hey.
I cannot wait.
Spoiler.
I mean, it's pretty well known.
It's everywhere on the internet.
Oh yeah, of course I run into it all the time.
I'm sure it's in somewhere in your search.
Actually, I don't know if that's the next one.
It's season 7.
Oh yeah, that's later on. Yeah.
Hasn't somebody already banged a ghost on this show?
Not yet, I don't think.
Are you sure?
No.
Well, I swear, wasn't it Beverly?
No, not yet.
Was
She
it there?
will.
I swear there
She
was
will.
there was an episode where there was either a sickness or a ghost or something, and it
You might have watched it on Pluto, bro.
it came over her. Not in that, way,
was
but
that was Pluto. You watched that on Pluto.
no.
Yeah, because that's not happened yet. That is season 7, I think it is.
I swear there was an episode. I'm not going back and watching the first 3 seasons over again because that was a thing I did.
The first 2, at least.
But I swear that something like that is.
I think the next episode's Remember Me.
Ooh, the Eminem song.
Remember me. Remember me.
I love that song.
Oh, that's like a violent song too.
Yeah, it has. Was it D12 and Exhibit in that one?
Let me look it up. We got to look this up.
I think Exhibit's in that. I think it's D12 and Exhibit for Remember Me.
7 executions. I have no remorse. I'm high powered. I drop bombs like Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think he knows
For
that-
this one, they scream XU, the R word. You know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
No, I don't.
Because I grab the mic and I get down like Syndrome, hide and roam into the masses without boundaries, which qualifies me for the term universal without no rehearsal. I leak words that's controversial.
But who's in this? I swear it's Eminem, D12, and Exhibit. It has a great beat.
RBX and Sticky Fingers.
So then I was
It sounds similar to DMX's Get Me a Dog. Get at me, dog. But it's not. That's a good album. It's got Kill You. It's got Stan on there. Isn't that the one
Okay.
that's you don't want to with Shady? Why? Because Shady will fucking kill you. I love that song. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us today. It's been a blast. We want you to like and follow us on Instagram, Facebook.
I'm sorry you joined us today.
734-494-0980.
We'd love to hear from you. We love you
Patreon,
guys.
bro.
We love you guys.
Patreon.com/keeping up with the Cardassians.
$2 a month. You can get more of this nonsense.
And we're glad to be back to regular episodes.
Yes.
And we love y'all.
And Happy New Year. This is the last show that
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Do we have any show resolutions?
Why are you asking as the intro music?
Why are you playing? Why are you just play the music?
Episode 200.
No, you're going to get cut.
Episode 200.
Episode
Here we go.
200.
Here we
First
go.
episode of 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it goes.
It'll be an extravaganza.
Oh, wow, look at that. It works out perfectly. All right, bye all.